Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into Action Media Reviews. Recently, I was featured on Toy Habit's website and a review on their YouTube channel. A couple people from Toy Habits had purchased the clamshell display cases that I sell, and they loved them. They wanted to review them. They reached out and got more of them, actually, and they put together a nice video and featured me on the site. I figured it was time to go ahead and make a video for these specifically and fully explain everything about them and why I started using them. My loose collection of figures, I was actually thinking about selling all of my loose figures off at the time because they were living in totes and cardboard boxes. All the figures were in little bags with all their accessories and everything. And a buddy of mine turned me on to these clamshell cases. And we found the factory that produces them, and I went all in. I made a large bulk order and started using these for my own figures. I started having insert card backs made along the line, with artwork along the lines of the original GiJoe carded figures, so that I would have that mint on card look for the display without the mint on card price, because original sealed figures are very expensive, and these can actually be sealed or left unsealed and they just snap shut. I have two sizes of these cases that I sell. One is narrow for figures that have less accessories, and one is wider for figures with more accessories. This is actually a new card that I have for Starduster. I have two versions of this for the two different torsos that Starduster came with. These are actually Black Major figures, and you have the file card on the back. My file cards are oversized. My buddy Dana from Design on Design actually does all the layouts of the cards for me, and then I have them all printed at a local print shop, and I physically go pick these up. I don't have to ship anything from a third-party company or anything like that to get these card backs. I keep it all local, and they take care of me. So anyway, just an overview is what I wanted to give you here, but we're going to take some time and look at what this evolved into. I showed a couple of people what I was doing. They thought it was a great idea, and they wanted some of them. So I started selling cases with card back inserts to some of my friends, and it started to grow from there. People would see these in the background of my videos, and they would comment, ask about them. I would let them know, reach out to me on Facebook, and I can set you up. And it grew from just something that I used for myself to something that a ton of people have gotten interested in, and I started selling them on eBay. And I just keep adding new cards to the to my eBay store, where I sell a lot of other things as well. But I've shipped these all over the world. I've shipped, my most recent international shipments were to Alberta, Canada, and to the Netherlands. And I think that it's awesome that people out that far are seeing these and wanting to display their figures in a similar way to what I do. And anyway, the first cards that I made were just a generic G.I. Joe styled insert card. And then I moved on to adding different subgroup logos to the cards. This was just the regular classic G.I. Joe card. And let's see if I can find another one here real quick. I started doing sub-teams. Here's one that I did for, or that I had done for Dreadnoks, and let's see what else. I've got all of these in a box here, ready to trim and ship out. Here's one that I did for the Steel Brigade figures, because I had a couple of the original mail-away Steel Brigade figures, and I had all these different Black Major and Red Laser Steel Brigade molded figures in different sub-teams. And I also made one for Tiger Force I'm actually going to get up with the camera here in a few minutes and show you some of these figures. So the sub teams, after we did sub teams, we decided that we were going to start doing character specific cards. So I have all these different cards for almost every sub team in G.I. Joe and Cobra, and character cards like for the 1984 Storm Shadow. You saw me use this in the review for the O-Ring Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes figures, the retro figures. Well, on the back you have the file card. It is a little bit larger than the original file card, but just a little bit of nostalgia here on the rest of the card. You've got a flag point on each one of them, and like Major Blood. These are all made from original cards. The artwork is from original cards, and some of it, like the Starduster figure, that is a custom that was done. That I actually got the artwork from someone else, but we did one for the Worms Maggot vehicle driver as well. That's up on the eBay store, and a bunch of others. And I'm actually looking for artwork for the Super Trooper. I have a sealed mail-away Super Trooper that I'm going to open and display in one of these clamshell cases. That's something I've done in the past, is open mail-away figures and display them in these clamshells. A lot of people are against opening a vintage sealed figure like that, but I will tell you why I do it. What happens with these mail-away baggies like this, they get cloudy, they get beat up, they get scratched, they get dinged, sometimes they get holes in them. Well, I have this sealed Super Trooper here. He's a fantastic looking figure. None of the accessories have ever been attached to the figure. It is completely scratch and fingerprint free. This is a way to obtain the absolute most mint figure that you can from a sealed package. Now, some people would argue, well, you're destroying the value. I'm not selling it. This is not for resale. This is for my personal collection. That's where this figure is going to go, and that's where it will stay. And anyway, I'm looking forward to getting this guy set up in one of the clamshell displays. I just need to find some artwork for him. But anyway, that'll be a video all on its own when I open the figure up and show you how it goes in the display. So let's take a minute to check out my wall back here. I try and keep all of the figures and all of the loose figures in the clamshell cases displayed on one wall, but I'm starting to run out of space. So the only issue that I really have here is that my figures are not organized. They are basically just kind of all put up here on the wall. I move some to the front. I change some of them out occasionally so that others are on the front to see. Here's a mail-away figure, that Deep Six. I opened that from a sealed package and put him into the clamshell display case. And also, like you'll see, this one doesn't have a card back. I'm actually having a custom insert card made for this figure. This is a Red Lasers Army Commando figure based on a sticker set that came out back in the 80s. And it is speculated that this figure, this paint scheme, is what Snake Eyes was supposed to be before they ran out of funding and released just a solid black figure. And over here you have a black Major Battle Android Trooper, some Red Lasers Army figures back there, another black Major figure. I actually need to get a card back insert stuck back in that case. This is the retro O-Ring Storm Shadow. And down here I actually have, here's the Baroness. And I'm waiting for some source material to come in so that we can make a card back for the Baroness. More Red Lasers Army figures. There's a lot of these loose figures that are third-party figures that I've accumulated. My original figures are up a little higher. Down here we have Battle Core. So one thing about these Battle Core figures, I had used the just regular G.I. Joe case with those, or I'm sorry, regular G.I. Joe card back with those, a generic one. But we decided, why not make Battle Core, G.I. Joe, and Cobra card back inserts. So I have those, but I just haven't switched out the cards in my own collection of figures. Then here you have the retro O-ring Snake Eyes. Those are very nice figures. I really like them. They display very well, and I'm happy with them. As a matter of fact, I like them, I think, better than some of the original 80s figures. Battle Core was my era, mainly. I loved all the Battle Core figures, all the bright colors and stuff. Had every one of those I could get when I was a kid. I actually have a bunch of them over here that are still sealed. But you can see what we're doing here. This is a fridge figure. We are going to be releasing a card back insert that is specifically for him. And these cases not only fit O-ring figures, but they also fit modern 4-inch figures. There we have the yellow uniform variant of Stalker from the 25th anniversary line. Up here you have some more customs. I think I've shown you some of these customs here. But the Dreadnoks card backs and that Steel Brigade card back there, I ended up sticking that is an original patch, by the way. I ended up sticking the patch in the case with the figure. One neat thing, and I'll see if I can find one here real quick. One neat thing about the generic insert cards that I have here, these cases have space where you can put an original file card behind them if you want. So technically, if you wanted to, and this is what I started out doing, you could use all classic G.I. Joe and Cobra inserts and just stick a file card in there behind the figure. This is another one. This is another mail-away figure here that I opened. That one had a broken O-ring. I opened it, fixed it, and put him straight into a clamshell case. Now you see the tire force and whatnot. But when we started making the character-specific cards, that really, really stepped up the displayability on these. At least I think. This is one of the card backs I was talking about that someone had made for the Black Major figures, and these were made by Kraken Customs, but I don't think they do anything anymore. Then you have a coveted Sightline figure. A lot of people love this figure. This is from Red Laser's Army. Had these made from the Joe Declassified series. I didn't know anything about this figure whenever I first saw it, like whenever I first got a hold of it. But there's the file card and everything, all the artwork made into an insert card for the clamshell case. And down here you see some of the wide cases, Sky Patrol, Battle Core, stuff like that. The Starduster figures from Black Major, and figures like Spirit that come with a pet or animal companion or large accessories would go into the wide case. That Snow Serpent down there, wide case, of course. The wide case also fits the Armor Tech Star Brigade figures. So there's always new stuff coming out, new card backs coming out for these figures. I actually have a set specifically because of the new retro O-ring 2-pack that's coming out for the Cobra Trooper and Cobra Officer. I have a set for those that'll work perfect because everybody seems to dislike the new packaging for the retro figures. It's flimsy. It's just doesn't really have a lot of content to it, especially with the file card. But I have a good solution. Anyway, in the description for the video, I have linked Facebook groups that you can visit and join me in. And also at the top, I am putting a link to my eBay store. All of the currently available card backs with clamshell cases are available on my eBay store. They're priced at $11.99 each. If you're buying multiples, you can send me offers and we can negotiate that price. But a single, if you only want one, it's $11.99 shipped. I always include shipping on all of my items that I have for sale. So be sure to check that out. I constantly have more stuff coming and adding into the eBay store. I don't really sell a whole lot of these on Facebook anymore. It's mainly just on the eBay store. So, thanks for watching Action Media Reviews. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out the links and stuff in the description, and I'll see you soon with more videos. Yo, Joe.